Just waiting for Lewis to join in, gang, and we'll see. Here he is. He is.
Are we working? What's going on with my camera?
Right.
Hey mate, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh yeah, it
There we
flicked
go.
back. It was on me and then it went off and then it went off. So I don't know. How's it going? You all good?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Oh yeah, all right, all right. Positive day today, so that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like each
Why?
you just got to get through each one sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I,
yeah, so
oh,
I guess.
mate, sorry.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Oh, technical issues.
All right, hang on.
Are you on Wi-Fi or are you on 4G?
I'm on Wi-Fi, but I'm tempted to go on 3G, 4G, whatever the hell we're on.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Who knows?
Like that.
No, that's not it. Oh, the first one.
Yeah, that's better. I think it's
Right,
just
we're good.
Wi-Fi's absolutely abysmal here.
Right, okay. Are you at home or what's your sort of setup?
Yeah, just in the office, at home,
No.
like
Yeah,
home office.
yeah. The spare bedroom or just the corner of the bedroom?
It's technically a spare bedroom, but it is the office. It's just halfway through being renovated, and then pandemic happened.
Right, okay.
So,
No.
you know,
So I guess this is like we spoke a little bit at Most Curious, but that was the first time we met.
yeah.
So we haven't shot together or really got like. I think I reached out to you on Instagram originally, like months back, because I seen some of your photos somewhere, and I was like, I love that grade, and
Mm.
yeah, I think it went from there. Like your website is really really amazing. I love the look of it. Honestly, if I could change Confetti's website to be anything like your website looks like absolutely shit up. Like
Thanks, man.
so good, so good.
I don't
Uh,
actually hate my website. It's in the middle of being redone,
well,
which
we
is
can swap.
hilarious.
We can
So
swap
I
it
was
to
gonna
be
say
honest.
you're more than welcome to have it if you want.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's just jump in then, I guess. So I've got some questions, but if you want to go off on a tangent with them, like feel
Hmm.
free and stuff. And yeah, hopefully about like 40 minutes usually seems to be like the sweet spot. Sometimes
Yeah,
obviously it's gone on like longer, so if it goes longer, it's all good. But yeah, I think 40 minutes is
that's
what we'll
mainly when you
kind of
get
what we'll
Dan
kind of
chatting.
aim for. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was just ridiculous, Dan. Nice one for that. So I guess just like tell me your setup then. What is it's just yourself. How did you get to this point, and why weddings? So was it photography originally for you, or did something lead to this path and just took it and
Um,
ran with it?
so I think basically I started off not doing like photography at all. I was just in like the normal 9 to 5 sort
Yeah.
of job. Like I used to be in a touring band, so I used to
Okay.
gig quite a lot, and I actually studied music production, so I used to run my own studio. Um,
All right.
it was literally only like out of the bedroom sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds impressive, but it really wasn't when you're living with your parents and it's just in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of started from there because I used to basically like I've always been really into marketing and stuff, so I always used to try and logically think, well, when I go gigging, I used to have a camera with me, so I
Okay.
used to take photos of the other bands to sort of be like, right after, give them the photos and sort of selfishly be like, here you go, promote me,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Just sweeten the
So all like
package.
those, so although like they were promoting me for taking photos, I was thinking in turn it would promote the band and stuff and help, and it worked. The photos were abysmal, like they were terrible, but
Yeah.
that's kind of how I started with the camera, sort of just like fully auto with like the pop-up flash and just going, oh my God, I've managed to make all these streaky lines. What the hell is that? Don't
Yeah.
care. Band loved it. Give it to them. Um, but that was like when I was in college, so that was a while back. And then I got into just like commercial photography stuff. It wasn't, again, nothing too serious.
Yeah.
But that kind of developed into loving it more and more and more. But I was like never thinking I could make an actual career from it.
Proper
So I was
career.
just doing like my normal 9 to 5. Um, but then I got like anyone that knows me has heard this story like a billion times. But I basically got made redundant 4 times. In
4 times.
Yeah, for like a 5 year period. And on the last one, I was in the middle of moving out, so I ended up losing my mortgage, and it was all a bit dramatic. I just had enough, really, and I was like, I need to somehow work for myself. So I basically went straight in, feet first, thinking, like, I went home to my parents, basically said, I've been made redundant again,
Again.
because I obviously had to tell them, because I was like, I'm not moving out anymore. I'm really sorry. Um, and they was like super supportive. They were just like, well, why don't you try doing your photography full time? And I was like, no, don't be stupid. How the hell do you do that? Um, and then it was kind of probably the typical answer everyone gives, which was like, a friend asked you to do it.
Yeah.
But mine was slightly different. It wasn't so much a friend asked me to do it. They told me they were getting married. I was like, I'll shoot it, thinking, oh, this will be easy. And yeah, so I shot that, and it was like the hardest thing I've ever done. I was like, why did I think this was going to be
Yeah.
easy? And I went with like the 2 cameras. Wasn't like that. I knew what I was doing with my camera as such. It was just like I just didn't know. Before that, I'd only ever been to one wedding. That was my brother's.
Yeah.
So it was completely out of my depth. And yeah, kind of where it started. I did it, struggled because it was hard, but I loved every second of it, despite the stress.
Yeah.
So I basically took 12 months out of earning any money to sort of just go full on at it. So I sort of went not. I know a lot of people sort of go part time, work their asses off,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sort of do both at the same time. And I just thought, sod it, because I luckily had the support of my parents. They were just like,
Yeah.
just go try it. So I just did 12 months of, luckily, because I didn't end up moving house, I had my savings from my mortgage. So I sort of lived off that as my wage. And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like grinded away at it until it worked. And
That's
I
a
was like, I
it's a
will.
big commitment though, to like, you've obviously
Yeah.
saved up so hard to get that deposit together and stuff, and then to think, no, I'm gonna make it, but in the meantime, I'm gonna use this that I've kind of slaved away to get to
Yeah.
financially.
I think it was a case of like I'd hit really bad times mentally with constantly, obviously, every time I think, well, I'm on a career path, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
like whatever job I was in, either the funding got cut or they went into administration or whatever. I was just fed up of getting knocked back down again, like being on moving up in a business and then instantly back to the bottom, and I just like I couldn't do it anymore. And I'd seen friends be self-employed, whether it was like being an electrician or anything, and they were
Yeah.
just like the hours are probably a lot harder, but the payoff for just being your own boss and everything is so much better. So I was just like, I've just got to try it. So I just didn't want it to fail, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I was
Yeah.
just like, I was going to do it no matter what, even if it took. I think when I spoke to my parents, we were just like, oh, well, we'll give it like 18 months to 2 years and see what happens. But luckily, I managed to get it off the ground a
So
lot
you're gonna go.
quicker. But it was kind of, although technically I wasn't earning anything for 12 months, it really was a case of working 10, 12, 14-hour days, just marketing or learning different edits and learning how different social
Yeah.
media works and all sorts of marketing, as well as trying to like second shoot with people.
Yeah. Just to get
Um,
yourself out there a bit.
yeah, to get yourself out there, learn how a wedding works, like from start to finish, and also to get a portfolio, because I know a lot of people, that's like the biggest struggle is like, well, where do I get my images
Your
from?
starter. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will take on second shooters to sort of be like, because they've asked and said, oh, yeah, of course, come along, feel free. But then they don't get to use any photos, so it's kind of hard. I think I just struck lucky with 2 or 3 people that I went with. And they were like, yeah, I'm more than happy to use the images, and that kind of gave me a bit of a portfolio to be able to make a website, and then it gradually just barrel rolled, and
went from there.
Yeah, pretty much. If that answers the question.
yeah. So at the start, it was very much just a case of you'd shoot anything you wanted, or did you have a defined like style or type of client that you wanted to work with? Like how picky were you at first, and when did that start to come in where you sort of refined yourself a little bit more?
So in regards to weddings, wedding clients, I think it just naturally happened because I'm quite chatty with people. Basically, I used to be managers in restaurants and stuff, so I've always been, although I'm a bit of an introvert, I've always been forced into getting over that, having to get over that, and like talking to clients and people coming into restaurants, whether it be like good communication because like they're happy with the service, or bad because I've had to deal with the complaints. I've kind of been a bit okay with dealing whatever comes. So I feel like that has sort of helped. That the first couple of clients I had, there is never like a wrong client, but obviously, like you said, you do want to get people that sort of, I think what they word it, like your ideal client.
Yeah, your ideal client. Yeah,
but you kind of can't, as you say, you have to sort of chip away at it slowly. That doesn't mean the weddings I did at the beginning were crap, or like the couples were bad. But I think after I did, I don't know, probably like 10, the stuff I then started like posting and the way that I talk and the way that I am in my emails, I think that just sort of quite quickly filtered out the people that I wouldn't get on with. So then the following set of like people, couples that booked in, sort of quite quickly were my ideal client, just because I know you get I'm dead against people that just go really, really formal in their emails. Like I'm like terrible with grammar, as you can probably tell, terrible spelling, like exclamation marks everywhere, but I'd rather put that in an email. They then come back exact same way. Like I don't mean like text speak or anything like that, but that's sort of like my personality, which is a little bit all over the place and a bit like I love my job, so like I'm a bit ecstatic when an inquiry comes in. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds amazing. But then if they respond a bit blasé, or their initial inquiry, like I've had inquiries before where it has literally just been like, because like my form is tell me a bit about your day, blah blah blah. But I've had inquiries that have literally just put prices first, please, ... and that's it. And I'm like, they're obviously not on my wavelength, not going to be my ideal client. So I'll just usually in that sort of case just like,
do you even bother? All right, okay.
I can't not, like I'm really OCD with my emails, so I'm like every single day my emails are down to 0, but so I can't not reply to a couple just because they've been slightly rude, or whether they've clearly just gone copy and paste about 50,000 photographers. So I'll always reply, but I will very much be, I can tell from straight away, I'm like, I don't think we'll get on because it's kind of pointless. So I think, to get like my niche, I think came quite quickly just from my personality on social media sort of thing.
So what's your approach like on the day and stuff? How do you work? Are you very much in the background, or do you direct the day a little bit, or what's
no, like I don't think anybody can say that they're completely 100% documentary. Like anyone that does is lying out their arse. Like there's some things that need directing, and there's some things that need a little bit of assistance. Like I don't know about videographers, because I know there's probably more weddings where there's just a photographer and no videographer than there is just a videographer. I don't know if that's a thing. But I find that the couples sometimes, out of all the vendors, because you're there all day, they kind of look to you to be a planner.
Yeah, for sure. So, at least some sort of coordinator to get things moving and get people grouped and moved on to the next like location or part of the time.
So I feel like that's probably everything is just sort of very, very chilled in the background, but when it's sort of if you've got like different locations, like they're getting ready in one place and then they've got the church, like that's when I'll sort of be like, just so you know, it's this time more, just because I don't like my couples stressing, so I'd rather them know that I'm chilled, because I can always see them starting to get like, it's usually when like if the bride's getting in the dress, they don't realize they're actually probably like 10 minutes behind what they should be. But if I just quietly, calmly tell them, it helps, and then they're usually really appreciative of, although yeah, I wasn't saying, right, we need to go now, I'm leaving. It'll be very much an approach of, just so you know, we need to do this, but don't stress, it's fine. Like the car outside will wait, blah, 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 blah. But apart from that, no, everything is very, very chilled in the background. Everything like the portraits, the only what time when it gets a bit more needing to tell people what to do is like the group shots. But even then, I'm very quick because
Like,
nobody likes doing them. The guests don't, the couple don't, we don't.
yeah.
But I do think they're important. Definitely are important.
Yeah, yeah, they are. It is just about let's not waste like so much of the day on this. Let's just get them done. Everybody just attention for like 15 minutes maybe, and just smash it out max, type thing.
It surprises me still when I get couples that are like, when we have the like the Skype call or the Zoom call, probably is the thing. That they'll be like, oh, we've been to other weddings and we get taken off for like an hour to do group shots and stuff like that, and it boggles my mind that people want to spend that long doing those photos when they can be done within 10-20 minutes, as long as obviously the guests are okay. But I think that's where proper planning comes in pre-wedding. But yeah, because otherwise they then do, I think because the documentary wedding style is still very, although it's been around for a few years, I still think it's now slowly teaching that that's more of the norm than the traditional style.
It's
But
new
when you've
to
got
guests type thing.
yeah, that's what I mean. So guests still see it as soon as you turn up, they think, oh, here's this bossy photographer. Little do they know that he's like super chilled. So they're kind of expecting it, and then when it's done really quickly, they're like, oh, we can carry on with our enjoying our day in canapes and stuff. So it's just trying to like let them know it's like, right, well, if we plan it, we can get it done quick. We don't need to be, there doesn't need to be like a photo shoot in your wedding day sort of thing.
Yeah. So like, I guess moving on from that, like for when you're doing couple stuff and that, how do you prefer to take them sort of little and often, or would you rather have them for like maybe like half hour or something? How do you normally play that?
Depending on the time of year, couples portraits, I'll literally take them 15-20 minutes. Like I don't like taking them long because I'm not a poser. I'm not going to get them to do anything they don't want to do. It'll literally be to the point. Just be like, let's just go for a walk. There won't be any. It'll be like the odd. Oh, the light looks nice over there.
Yeah,
already
go stand over there type thing.
Yeah, but I know the pretty much 99% of couples that book me always say we hate having a photo taken. It's like, that's fine. I never want you to feel like you're coming on your wedding day thinking and dreading the photo shoot part. I'd rather just be like, right, let's just go for a walk, kind of take advantage of, again, with people new to wedding photography, not as in like photographers, but guests, they think you're the bossy photographer. So you sort of, that's the one and only time I'll ever utilize pretending I am to take the couple away so I don't have a load of guests following.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like, just go 5 minutes on your own. Just like, I'll be far enough away that if I want to get a photo, I can, but I'm far enough away you can chat. I don't have to be listening in.
Okay, cool. So you're never like up in their face with like
I do, but I sort of start, I have a progression of sort of like, right, let's go for a walk. Give them 5 minutes on their own so they can sort of take in what's happened and enjoy their company without getting like hugs and everything 5 seconds. Then I might take a few shots on more of like a telephoto lens and then gradually get close. And then when I'm close, I'll be like, right, let's just go for a walk and sort of wherever we are, sort of circle the locations I've probably already figured out on the morning during prep. And then just circle around and get back. And usually you get back and like the coordinator's like, oh, you've still got 10 minutes on that. I don't need them.
We're done.
Like I don't want them for that long. It's pointless. So, and then the only other time I'll then take them is maybe in the evening. Like obviously, if we've got lucky enough to get golden hour, we'll go out for that. But that's quite rare because it's England, and then it's obviously only like a 5 minute window anyway. So I'll usually just come grab them at any point and just be like, we can go now. Do you want to? Yes or no? They turn around and say, no, that's fine. As long as I've offered. And then if it's more winter wedding and we don't get golden hour because it's really cloudy or it's raining or whatever, I'll say, let's go out in the evening and get like 5 minutes of something if they've got some festoon lighting or there's just
Yeah,
some
yeah.
nice lighting around. Because I'm not one to set up a load of flashes or anything like that, just because
Okay.
I can't be asked. I haven't got the time.
No,
I'd
you're good.
rather, again, I'd rather just you guys enjoy your day. So if there's lighting there, like festoon lighting, I'm like, cool. If there's not, then there's not a photo opportunity in my eyes. I don't want to be setting up stuff because that
Just
makes
for the
them
sake of
more
it.
uncomfortable. Yeah, because if they can see you've got stands, lights going everywhere, and the guests can see it, guests will come out, want to know what's going on. Them themselves will be like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've seen some amazing photos using flash outside and stuff. I just don't. It's not my
Just not
style.
for you. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'd probably say to answer the question, little and often. So maybe 2, maximum 3 portrait sessions, and each time they'll be 10, 15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so I guess you kind of touched on it then. So like I've done weddings where there hasn't been a photographer and it's only myself as a videographer there. And it definitely changes the dynamic, I find. I don't know whether I like it or not. To be honest, I don't think I do. I think I prefer when there is 2 of us. So like what percentage of your weddings are you shooting where there is videographers there?
I'd say half.
Yeah. And have
Probably.
you seen that grow over?
I think it's growing more. Like originally when I started, there was a lot more of the sort of like, oh, this is our friend, he's gonna film it and then we're gonna edit it.
Okay, yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these couples were like video editors. And I was like, cool, brilliant.
Yeah.
But I just left them to it. But it seems to be getting more that they're actually getting the budgeting for like a proper videographer. So I think it is getting more and more common. I don't know whether it's because of social media, where people like I don't really know. Like it's a bit out of my depth. Like I don't know where in regards to packages. I know some guys do like Instagram
Yeah, like
feature
trailer versions
videos
and
and
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I think people are starting to see that. And I do believe that with the wedding industry, it kind of works that a couple will go to a wedding, and if they're engaged, they kind of want to one up it almost, like
Yeah.
underlying. They don't say anything, but they're like, so say if you go shoot a wedding in Tuscany and you're invited and you're engaged, you go, oh, no, how are we going to one up this sort of thing?
Yeah.
I know it sounds bad, but it's definitely true. So I feel like if people go to a wedding and there's a videographer, every time I get the question of, oh, can you recommend a videographer?
Yeah, yeah.
It's always followed by, because our friend had one and it was really good.
Okay, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
they probably didn't, if they hadn't gone to that wedding, they probably wouldn't have thought the videographer's a thing. So yeah, I think it's getting more common, which I like. Like I think it's great. Like the more stuff you've got to be able to like look back on is brilliant. And
Yeah.
I think photos are obviously amazing, and obviously I'm biased, but there is something different with video.
Yeah, it's
I think
different. They're very different. Very different. Yeah.
There's something really cool about video. Like I would love to have video, but it's I guess it's just a different experience. Maybe you don't view the video as often as you would the photos, but then it's got a different atmosphere when you do watch it because you'd probably like set the scene, have like a cinema night type thing, and be like, oh, let's just whack on like your anniversary and stuff. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to see more and more. So I'm hoping that number goes up from 50%. Like it seems to be more of my couples are asking.
Okay, cool. So are they like? Is it typical that they would ask you, or would they go off on their own and sort of find someone of their own accord? Maybe that friend, the one that shot their friends that we were talking about, or is it very much? It's a question that you kind of always, you almost get like first dibs on like your referral list to promote to them.
I think a bit of both in the sense if they've had a wedding where they've been to a wedding, there's been a videographer, they'll sort of have that in the back of their mind. But it does seem to be a lot more, which is really, really like, it's mad when you think about how like nice the couples are actually being in the sense that they say, we thought we'd ask you because you would, one, know someone that's work is good. Two, it sort of is similar style to yours, but in video. And three, if you've worked with them, we think you'd get on and you gel well and you'd know how to work together. So I think it's more of they come to it with an open mind and just be like, we're happy to hear all your recommendations. Whether they've already got a list, I don't know, but it's obviously good because it then means if I do refer them, then I get to work with someone that
you
I
actually
know
like. Yeah,
I actually like will be able to sort of work together with really well. If anything, help them out if they need anything, and vice versa. So
yeah,
yeah, I think it's more they'll ask for it because I feel like the order of I could be wrong, but like the order of priority is usually like they go wanting a photographer, then videographer.
yeah. The photography is always going to be like, I don't know, for like the next 10 years at least. Probably it's always going to be like you grow up with that vision of like you have a photographer for your wedding. You don't necessarily grow up with that vision of we're going to get a wedding video. You know, there's still very
Mm.
much that stereotypical like old 80s type thing like attached. No matter how good films are nowadays, it's like a really hard stereotype that we find to kind of get away from sometimes. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think it just needs the quality to be what it is now, or obviously it's going to keep continue. But if the quality stays now and more people see it, like the kind of next generation of brides will kind of grow up even more into video, and maybe then it will eventually kind of be a sort of mainstream equal type
I think
thing.
more couples seem to be what I felt like at the beginning was people were, oh, if there's budget left,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah,
now it seems to be they're budgeting for it
mhm,
because they'll sometimes give me a figure and be like, oh, we've budgeted X for photo and video, so whatever you cost is what we have left for video,
yeah, yeah,
which is how most of my couples that ask seem to approach it. So I think that's good because it's nice to see they're sort of seeing more value in it
yeah.
instead of, oh, we'll
Just the
see
add
if we
on.
can afford
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate those type of inquiries, and it's like I don't get them so much now, but definitely when I started and on my other video brand, it's kind of like we've only got like £1,000 left for video and stuff. You know, like, well,
Mm.
it's not my fault.
I can't
Like,
help.
yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's good that it's starting to improve anyway.
It
So I
seems
guess
that way.
so, and I think also that Mark, thanks for your question. Well, I'm going to turn it into a question. Mark, thanks for piping up in the chat. Uh, like more photographers are doing not necessarily sort of wedding films that would stand up on their own, but they're definitely putting out more than competent sort of short highlights films and doing like a sort of hybrid of the two. Have you thought about that? Is it something that doesn't interest you in the slightest? What's your thoughts
Um,
on that?
like I don't know. Like I think I've had people ask me, "Oh, can you do
Yeah,
video
do you,
yourself? Is it something you do, or will you refer someone?" It's definitely something that I've wanted to learn, but I don't think I would ever do it for weddings. Like I might do it for like my commercial stuff, but like I know that I wouldn't do it justice to some of the people that I know would. Like
yeah,
the people that I recommend, for example, I would never. I might, but I would never probably get to like that sort of level. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist that I'd want it to be right, and I'd feel like I wouldn't be doing the couple justice, and I don't think I'd feel right charging them for it. So I'd just be like, that's it's not how I wanted it. It's not this guy's equivalent. Um, and also, although I definitely, if you ask any of my couples, like I definitely take a very, very relaxed approach on the day, like
yeah,
maybe too relaxed sometimes, just sitting having a coffee with them. But I still am constantly like alert of what's going on,
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
I need
yeah,
to be doing this, this, and this. So I think doing what a lot of people are doing, like with the hybrid, I don't think I could do it. Like
yeah,
I'm too involved with the photos and capturing the moments, as cheesy as it sounds, that I don't think I could be concentrating on like, oh, am I videoing this or am I
yeah,
photographing
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's another
I
decision to make. Yeah,
Yeah, like I know people that do it and they do it well, but I don't know how they do it. But then I know others that sort of offer it, but they'll bring someone with them. So I'm like, it's not just them doing it,
yeah,
which
yeah,
I think if it's just them doing it, then fair play to them. Like I know there's an American dude that I'm not pioneered it, but Taylor Jackson used to do sort of with his Patreon. He used to sort of say, "Oh, this is where the industry is going to sort of do both." But I'm like, yeah, you can do both. You can charge more, but I don't feel like the couple will then be getting
the
your
best of
full
both.
value
Yeah,
from either. It'll just sort of be a half-assed version, which in my business, I don't think is right. I think you need to go 100% or don't bother.
all or nothing. Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So, like, how do you work with well, in fact, let's go back a little bit. Like, is it common for a videographer to reach out to you beforehand, or do you reach out to them and you find out who it is? I mean, I guess if you know them, it's a little bit different. But if it was, for example, say a new person that you'd never shot with before, like,
Yeah, if it's a new person, if it's someone that I've referred, no, because I probably talk to them on like an
yeah,
every
yeah,
other day
yeah,
basis
yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
And I'm pretty certain that on the morning we can discuss what needs discussing.
yeah,
But if it's someone new, then yeah, 100%. I'll reach out to them if the couple haven't already sort of gone, oh, we've given your details to so and so, and they've
yeah,
then emailed me. Because obviously it tends to be that the video comes
yeah. In
after.
second, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That they'll usually get in touch with me because I didn't know that they picked someone. But if the couple have messaged me and said, oh, it's this, I will get in touch and just sort of touch base with them and just say, like, introduce myself, let them know.
Yeah.
I don't say let them know how I work because, like I said, I'm pretty chill on the day. Just sort of be like, if you've got any questions or you need anything from me, just shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's common courtesy. I don't know. It's just nice to know who you're working with. Like, I wouldn't obviously introduce myself to via email, I should say, like to like the florist or the hair and
Yeah,
makeup and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
because I can
Because
do that on the
it's
morning.
not that level of relationship on the day, is
No.
it? Yeah.
So like with the hair and makeup, for example, like totally get on with everyone I work with, but they're only going to be there for the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas with like the video, if they're going to be there all day,
Yeah, you're
they're
having dinner
gonna
with them.
yeah, you're gonna be with them all day, potentially going to be in each other's way, and I'd rather problem solve before
Yeah,
the issue arises, sort of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're usually grateful as well to be like, oh yeah, looking forward to working with you. Checked out your work, blah blah blah. So yeah, I just think if anyone doesn't do that, I would suggest it.
You would do it. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Definitely.
And then what about in terms of shooting together? Like, would you normally? So my favorite thing to do is usually just kind of tag team in and out. That I like to go out with the photographer as well because I don't like separate. Like, yeah, it has its benefits, but I don't think it's good for the couple to be kind of dragged through or have that process like last longer than it needs to. So I think from my perspective is I like to tag team in and out with the photographer, and while like you're shooting, I'll be pulling like little details with a longer lens or something like that, building my story up that way and making the most of you having your time kind of with them. Like how
Do you
would
mean
you
as in like with portraits?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I think I've only ever worked with one person where it's sort of being they've had
Challenging.
separate. Yeah, it's been challenging because they've sort of had it in their head that they're taking them off for portraits as well.
Okay.
Which this is probably another reason why I couldn't do video for weddings because I don't see personally how if you want like a natural feeling film, how well you could, excuse me, how you could make it natural if it's sort of being like, right, we're going to go, like with me, like I said, we just go for a walk and it's
Yeah.
quite a natural thing, but because there's stills, you can kind of capture emotions in between. Whereas with video, I feel like you would have to sort of force poses and force movement and stuff like that. So I can't really see how it works. Completely correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't see how it would work easily with video. So I completely get why like the videographers would tag along, and I think
Yeah,
it works so much better because like the shots that I get are sort of like maybe positioning them somewhere, not like body positioning, but like just say, let's go over there. And when they then turn to the camera to look at me, I've already got the photo. But whilst I've been then talking to them, sort of pre getting them into the position, the
yeah,
video, in my view, has probably already been done as well because they'll have
yeah,
been doing
yeah,
it whilst they're naturally talking to me. Although in the film, it probably looks like they're talking to each other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that, yeah, I just feel like that works. So I know a lot of people sometimes feel like, oh, don't find it annoying because the video just sort of takes your hard work. I'm like, oh, it's not really because you're working together and it's a completely different medium with it being video
Movement
and
and
being
stuff. Yeah,
constant. So, and there, what's important to video is movement because they're actually capturing it, whereas we're just capturing like a still
yeah, yeah.
in time. So yeah, I think I've only ever had it once, maybe twice, where there's been sort of a videographer portrait session, which I wasn't invited to, sort of thing, which is fine. But it was sort of just like, oh, I just feel bad for the couple because they're probably
Yeah,
now thinking it's a bit more regimented and I don't know, the sort of weddings I like and that I seem to get are the ones that, yeah, there's an order to the day, but there's nothing strict.
It's not
And I
like
don't want
this,
to add
boom,
to
boom, boom.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
be like, you're coming out at 4:10 to do portraits. Tough. I'd
yeah, yeah.
rather, oh, we screwed it up. You've now got to go sit for food. I'll be like, let's just go after food.
We'll do it
Fine,
after. Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
No
Yeah.
biggie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. It's interesting you say that about shooting while you were kind of setting them up and stuff, because I really like get on board with doing that, and I almost take a little bit of joy from like the photographer turns around and says like, all right, I'm done, and I'm like, yeah, I am as well, and it's just like,
Mm.
okay, cool. So I like doing that. I guess like let's just go back to you a little bit. Like, what's the hardest part of your job on the wedding day that you find, whether that's shooting or some logistical part of it, or what's the toughest
Um,
thing for you on the day?
Toughest thing for me, I think, is when it's multiple locations because I get in a bit of a. I like being organised. If I know that I've got to go somewhere, and not that the couple are expecting it, but they're sort of like, right, we're leaving at I don't know, 12:30 to get to the church for 1 or to get to the other venue at 1,
Yeah,
and you full well know it's going to take you more than that plus traffic time. It just stresses me out, like, because I hate being late. Like, I'm never late for anything if I can. Um, I don't know. It makes my anxiety be like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late.
yeah,
Full well knowing that I'm ahead of the couple or ahead of the bride or the groom, that I'm going to be there first, so they can't start without me anyway. Or they
yeah,
can start without me, but they can't start without whoever's behind me. Um, so I probably should get over that. But I just like knowing. I think as well. I don't know how you feel because do you shoot with like a monopod, tripod, or you just handheld?
Sir, I'm handheld for everything except ceremony and speeches.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
because like the photographers, like I've got like the hold fast, like a lot of people
yeah,
do,
yeah,
like the cowboy thing. And if I haven't got enough time between changing locations to sort of nicely take it all off and put it back in the bag,
yeah, yeah.
that stresses me out. So what usually happens is I'm like run to the car, like I haven't got time because they've got like all these clips on, and then they end up just sitting in my lap for like a half an hour
Just
journey,
bouncing against the
rattling all
handbrakes.
over the place. And then you get out and it hits against your car, and you're like, oh my God, I just want to get in. And you like, I kind of like the sort of, it's why I like bridal prep in the morning because you're sort of putting everything together, putting the lenses on, and it's nice and calm. Whereas when
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got the sort of stress of it's attached to you and you don't feel like you're getting that routine of putting it on ready for the next part of the day. I think that's what I don't like the most, but it seems to be more and more weddings are now slowly getting into the one location,
yeah, yeah,
which is
which is
brilliant, which I
a good
love
thing. Yeah,
because it
is
means I
it?
can just walk.
It's the drive between the prep and the ceremony, because like usually you're gonna hang around for like dad coming to see the bride or whatever, and then because that's obviously a big moment for video and photo, um, but then they're just walking out the door, maybe jumping in the car, whereas you've got to go and like you say, like decide whether you're gonna sort your gear out properly or just jump in the car and like go for
Mm.
it. You're gonna drive as fast as you can. The bridal car is going to pull up right outside where it needs to be, but you've got to go and park like 3 streets down because all the guests have already taken the parking spaces and stuff. That's the worst thing.
And
It's
then
the
you just
worst
come
thing.
in like running up into the ceremony like a
Yeah,
sweaty hot mess. And
sweating.
they're
Yeah,
like, this is the first time all the guests have seen you. And you're like, hi, I
yeah.
can't breathe and I'm out of breath. It's, yeah, that
No.
that I'd say definitely easily it's like the most stressful, like nothing shooting related or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the traffic.
Pure logistics. Are you in London? Are you in London?
No, so I live outside of London, but I've got my business set up
Okay.
in London. When like all the job changes when I was in a proper job,
Yeah, yeah.
like I was potentially moving to London, so kind of that was the plan that fizzled out, and then I was just like,
Oh,
sod it. So like I had quite a few clients that were there already, and then the referrals from like couples kept being London. I was like, you know what?
okay.
It's easier to just set up
Just
there.
staying with it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, like, in terms of what would you want your couples to remember? I think it's quite a good question. Like, what would you want your couples to remember you for? Is it like taking the best photo, or like how you were on the day, or a combination of everything? Like, what do you want your
Um,
couples to think of the experience of having booked you and had you deliver the photos?
I don't like mine might be like quite a short to the point answer, but
That's good.
it's not really like it's not the quality of photos or anything like that. Yes, obviously that is a very, very big bonus, and that's in the title, being a photographer. But I very, very much go out of my way to make it so that they don't see me just as another vendor, because especially during like all this pandemic malarkey we're going through, I'd like them to go away from the day not talking about me, being like, oh, Lewis is amazing, but more just saying how nice my approach was, and the fact that they've sort of made a friend. I'm literally friends with all my couples. Like, it probably annoys them because I'm still messaging them afterwards, like, what are you doing? How's the dog? How's your mum? But like, I just love people, so I would prefer to be remembered for being this cool guest that also had a camera with him and delivered them photos, instead of being like, oh, it's just another person that they had to pay for their wedding,
for a service.
And like, I will happily, any of my couples, go and meet them again, and I do often just go for a drink, and like when we go to London, if I'm putting like, oh, I'm in blah blah to go do whatever, even if it's nothing wedding related, like I'll get someone pop in and be like, oh, we're free, do you want to go for a coffee? I'm like, yes, I want to know what's going on. I want to. I like. Obviously, in your head, you're thinking long term. It helps if like it's like free marketing because you're still in there.
Yeah, in that head.
But that's not important. Like, that's not why I'm in the job I'm doing. It's not for like the amount of money you can make or anything like that. I just love people. I think I was in like quite a rough place a few years ago, and it's just people just make me happy. So like knowing that I can make them happy, and then they think, oh, he's such a nice guy, he's really friendly. Oh, and also we recommend his photography, and that's like the last thing. I don't if I don't get that, I don't care. But like, as you probably know, a lot of your work probably comes from referrals, but like I get so excited if I know I've got a wedding coming up where I'm seeing an old couple.
It's one of the best things.
And they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I've seen you. Like, I've done one wedding which was probably in October, and I think from it, not October, September, from it I had another wedding that it was like it was quite a recent one. It was like my first of this year in Feb, and from that wedding I then had 4 other wedding bookings, because they had a lot of guests, but they all just loved my attitude. Hadn't even seen the photos yet, and I'd had like 2 bookings, which I was like, that
speaks
shows
itself, doesn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's nice to be nice.
Something right.
Yeah, I don't know whether that just comes from being in hospitality. But I think from working in hospitality, you sort of had to like hospitality and what's the other one? Retail. You had to learn to sort of be well with customers and be good with like the regulars, and just know how to speak to someone on a human level. And I think it's really come into fruition with, not to bring up COVID, but with all this, I think the people that are struggling are the ones that can't sort of just meet their couples on like a human level and just be like, this sucks for everyone, but we will sort it, we'll get out of it, like fine, we'll get out of it together. And I think because of that, that's why I've kept literally all but one couple for postponement. And it's not through their fault they couldn't, it was because their venue only takes unlimited dates and just was booked simple as
one of those ones.
But I've managed to keep everyone else, and I think it's just having that attitude of just being nice.
Just be a good person. That seems to be like the absolute overriding theme of like everything, both photo, both video. But I mean, I guess it is of business. You know, people do business with people at the end of the day and stuff. So that is one of the huge things. And when you mentioned retail there, and like, I think a lot of like my kind of, not skills with customer service, but like awareness of how to be in certain situations and stuff comes from like when I was in retail and stuff. Even though it was just like smaller jobs type things, I think you learn an awful lot, like soft skills, people skills in them that's really applicable to like kind of having a successful.
You know how to read a situation, like, and I think it helps, not only having the retail background helps with human interaction, but also how you approach a scene, if you're photographing it or videoing it, 100%, because you sort of know what you want to push. Like, all of us want to sort of be like get in, get out, sort of like really like in the moment photo. but you can probably read a situation to be like, probably shouldn't do that at the moment.
Yeah.
But then I
Like
see some
it
people
would
that
be
will just
amazing.
jump in. They'll just jump in and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that because they've then reacted badly to it.
Mhm.
Like even if it's just mid part, like I've had it when I first started. Like you're mid in the dance floor and you jump in because you're getting like really close shots to get the part in. They're just not
Not ready for it.
reading
Right.
it and they're not wanting it. And I've had people like turn around and be like telling me to F off. Like they're just not into it. But you sort of can tell just from like the way they look. But I feel like that comes from working behind a till or taking food to a table. You sort of know if they're going to say thank you back
Yeah.
or whether they're about to complain and you've not even put the food down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just sort of read it well, and I think that really, really helps.
Yeah. Definitely, 100%. Like
That wasn't a short answer, sorry.
no, we went off on a massive tangent. But like, yeah, like weirdly, like one of the things I always say, like my kids are going to get a job in retail because you're going to learn how to speak to people, you're going to learn manners, you're going to learn like how to react in situations, how not to react in situations and stuff. So
the people that like, admittedly, I've not worked at McDonald's, but people that mock people for working at McDonald's, I don't know why they do. I'm like, you have to deal with very hungry people that want their food fast, or they want it in the middle of the night straight away. You have to deal with a lot of different attitudes, and you have to deal with all sorts of workers, like people working in construction, little chubby teenagers. You have to work with all of them. So I have the utmost respect for people that work in like McDonald's or fast food restaurants, and they'll probably end up being a lot better human. Because they can understand 100%. People.
100%.
But yeah.
So let's jump around again. I still haven't quite figured out my flow of questions yet. I'm still like here. But like in terms of awards and stuff, do you do much with awards or any industry things? Like how do you deal with like pushing things to get featured, published? What we're talking about from that kind of scope.
Awards, I've won the grand total of 0 because I've entered the grand total of 0.
Yeah.
Because I literally couldn't give a shit. There's some that are out there that I'm like, oh my God, I would love to win that. And I've got friends that have won, and rightly so, because their work is bloody fantastic. But it's the ones that are, you're just paying to get onto an award, or paying to sort of be a runner-up. And I don't know. I feel that if you've won one, like there's like Rangefinder, an amazing award to win, and it's truly deserved. But then you've got other ones where you sort of, I don't know, because you've almost paid to be on it.
Yeah, you can buy the votes and stuff.
Yeah, so you're going to be buying the votes, and for me to go and put that you won Rangefinder on your website, completely deserved and should do it. To go and then put an award on your website that you've paid to get on, you're sort of tricking or lying to your potential clients, which I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. Like if they are truly deserved, absolutely brilliant, and I'm jealous and envious, but I will never enter ones that need my credit card, basically. I don't see the point. I completely understand where if it's on your website, you're like, I won this award for whatever, brilliant. It probably does bring in a couple, or probably does clinch the deal for some people, but I'm not trying to get customers that are wanting to book me because I won, or because I don't know, I came 680th in one image of something. I don't care. So like, it doesn't bother me. But featured, I'd say, is another story. Like 100%. Featuring is great because you sort of, I think that helps target. That helps get your niche a bit more because you're not going to go and post to, I don't know, Rock and Roll Bride if it's a really, really traditional wedding sort of thing. So you're going to post the weddings you want to shoot. So I think the features are great, and it's also very much community driven. I feel like being featured is more community driven than the awards. The awards are very much more for the people giving them out.
Yeah, for the bodies. Bodies.
Yeah, whereas like the features are people. Bodies. Yeah, whereas you've got like Love My Dress, Rock My Wedding, Rock My Wedding, Rock My Wedding, Rock and Roll Bride and stuff. Yeah. They're from people that were like either originally suppliers or people that just loved planning their wedding. and they've got the community at the forefront, whereas these awards are sort of just so they can constantly keep stirring out crap. Not crap photos. Like the photos are amazing, but they're just constantly keeping a business afloat, sort of thing.
Yes, yeah, because those award bodies are just someone's business at the end of the day. You know, it's plain and simple as that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what we got? Somebody asked a question about a camera, XH1 for video. Yeah, your XH1 is perfectly fine for your first video camera. That'll more than get you through your first weddings. So yeah, jump on that if you want. You can maybe get some better deals on some other cameras if you look on eBay or whatever. Like, I'm not averse to buying gear secondhand. Like, do you buy gear secondhand, or are you always like fresh out the box? Smell that kind of packaging as you open them.
I'm a bit of an Apple whore, so I like the unboxing experience. So I probably buy new. I say I buy new. It'll be like grey imported. It won't be full price. I'm not paying like $2,000 for a camera I can get for $1,500. But yeah, no, I do buy new. I just don't know. I just have really bad luck, so I guarantee I'll buy something secondhand, it'll break on my wedding day. Okay. So I'm not bothering. I didn't realize I could scroll through the comments.
Yeah. Cool. So I think with like because I'm the same. Camera wise, I always buy new bodies. But yeah, again, like it's all grey stuff. But lenses, like we shoot on vintage lenses, so I only really have like one Sigma Art, and the rest is all stuff that's like from the Cold War, basically. Like I've got Zeiss glass that's from when it was made in Germany and stuff, and that's like some of my best glass. But I would never buy like obviously a camera that's been knocked around or whatever. But yeah, don't mind it. What else we got? Do you guys use gimbals a lot? I have a gimbal. I guess this one's for me. I have a gimbal, but I used it for the first year. I bring it to weddings, but I don't really use it now. I just shoot handheld, and I kind of tailored the way I shoot to shooting handheld, so I know what the limitations are of a shot and stuff. So I just kind of don't really need it. I don't find some shots I might use it one or two on a day, but overall I just go handheld for the wedding day. All right, cool. So, do you have anything like what's your favorite image you've shot and stuff? Maybe it's not weddings, maybe it's a personal project or something like that.
To be fair, favorite photo, I can't think of like last year, but this year's easier because I only shot 3 weddings and then everything shut down. Favorite photo probably for this year was my last wedding I actually got to shoot before lockdown. It was literally a couple of weeks before everything went under. Was Liv and Al. They had a really cool wedding at Paint Box in Bristol. No, Paintworks in Bristol. And the annoying thing was with the photo, I literally was in it was in the evening. It was in the worst part of the entire venue. The venue's like stunning, massive windows, so the light all day was incredible. As soon as I was this one opportunity to get this one photo, I was in the worst spot with like horrible lighting. Had to flash it because obviously it was a really quick moment, but it was of Al and his nan, who's like I think in her 90s, and they were just having a hug on the dance floor before first dance. I think it was before first dance. And it was just a really nice photo of the two of them just having a hug, and you could just tell, like, I'm really drawn to eyes. I don't know why, like eyes and hands. So this was like a proper, her eyes were closed and hugging into his chest, and it was just like, you could just feel the warmth of that hug. And I was just like, and you can sort of see that Al's eyes are open, but they're very, very much sort of like loving every second of this hug, even though in the moment it was probably like 3 seconds. But that photo really means a lot. Like, I'm not a fan of the edit because it was really hard to edit it because of how bad the lighting was. So like usually I probably would have looked at that and be like, oh, do I cull it out? I don't know. I kept it in, edited it, wasn't overly happy with it, but I was like, no, I know they'll like it. Sent it to them as their like preview, and I had messages from like different members of the family and like the best man, the best woman, Liv herself. They were all just being like, we were going through the previews, and Al just like lost it at that photo of his nan. So that meant a lot, and because I get too attached, like I'm an absolute emotional wreck on weddings. I'm
Are you
crap.
crying at speeches and stuff?
Oh God, yeah, crying through
Yeah.
speeches, first dance, getting ready.
First dance, your first dance crier. That's
I'm a pathetic human with no like. But yeah, so the photo when I saw it, I was like, I love it. I need to send it to them at the same time as the creative side of me was hating it and thinking I'll just get rid of it because it
yeah,
didn't look how I'd have wanted it. It wasn't lit properly, and but that's when I suppose it comes into perspective that you're just like, it's definitely a moment over like the actual setup or what
yeah,
gear
for sure.
was used.
Yeah,
And they absolutely loved it. I gave it to them in a print, and they I think gave it to a couple of members of the family. And yeah, just I'd probably say that's my favourite photo. I didn't have the bride in, didn't have anyone else in. It was just the two of them, full framed, of them having a hug. That was it.
just a moment,
And
just
like,
a pure moment.
yeah, and it gives me goosebumps when I look at it. Not even trying to toot my own horn. I just think it's just a really sweet moment, and it's
Yeah,
something that they'll love to have in years to come. So, and knowing getting that response straight away from them to be like, I was an emotional wreck when
yeah,
he saw the photo. I was just like, yeah, perfect, job done, tick.
yeah. That's yeah. Okay, so we're coming up. That might be a good one to end on, but because we're coming up for an hour, so I think it's going to cut off in like 2 minutes. But I guess like there was a real quick one question there, like what's your two? I hate gear talk, but what's your favorite two lenses for a wedding?
Was that Mark?
Yeah,
Yeah, love Mark. He lives around the corner. Two favorite lenses.
real quick.
I'll probably shoot the entire day 35-85 or 35-135.
Okay, cool.
What about you?
85 is my like that lens changes my camera, so I try and stick to that mostly.
Mm.
But I've got just got a 55 as well, a 55, a 50 as well that I stick. So I normally shoot bride prep all at 50, just handheld, because like what you were saying earlier, like about reading the situation, I don't like to go into bride prep with a tripod and like a massive bag and stuff, because obviously that's when people are like forming their sort of first opinions of you and stuff. So I think just rocking in there with
Mm.
a little Sony camera and a little tiny prime lens is a really good like way to start the day with people and not make them think, oh my god, there's a video guy here now, you know. So
Mm.
yeah, let's
Definitely.
go for that for prep. But yeah, um, any like what would be your top tip? Let's just round it off with this one. Top tip for anyone like looking to start or kind of needs a little, they're struggling right now, maybe just because of the situation, they just need a little bit of like kind of inspiration to get up and go. Like what would you leave them with?
I think whether it's a good situation or we're in a pandemic or whatever, community over competition always trumps. Like whether it's getting bookings from friends, getting advice from friends, or mid wedding day you're really struggling, you can just message someone being like, "Holy crap, what do I do?" And even with other vendors, like the amount of bookings I've got from other people, um, yeah, I will always from the very start of my business, it was always community over competition, and it ended up paying
Yeah,
paying all along the way. So even when I was right at the beginning, that helped. Like when I didn't know what to do, when I needed second shooting jobs, or like the biggest one, it shows when people haven't got that attitude during the pandemic because people are either struggling and they're struggling on their own, or they're struggling and they're struggling together,
yeah,
which still sucks, but at least you're not then with being self-employed, you're not just sat on your own at
yeah,
home
yeah,
being all like, woe is me. You can sort of message someone and be like, I'm having a shit day.
yeah, yeah.
Help,
That's
sort of thing.
cool. Oh,
So
yeah, great.
yeah.
Yeah, nice little finish of that. So good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That was
perfect.
good.
I
I
think
didn't
it's
realize this
literally,
cuts off after an hour. That's
yeah,
annoying.
I think it's literally going to do it any second now. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for like opening up and like really giving you like your honest thoughts on things. I think some of the stuff was like quite deep that you went to, I guess, for for just like a wedding chat.
I
So I
told
think
you I'm a bit emotional.
yeah, I see it now. I see it. But it's all good. So yeah, thanks very much, mate. And
No worries,
yeah,
dude.
all right. Cheers everybody for questions and stuff and watching. And cool. All right. Cheers, mate. See you later.
See you later.